Today's special guest, Chaplain Lindsey Williams. It's always a pleasure to have Pastor Lindsey Williams on the show. He has, as I understand it, a very interesting update from some of his contacts. Hello, sir.
Chris, it is a privilege to be on Gold Seek Radio today. This is probably the most unusual radio show that I've ever done in my life. It may very well be classified by you as the most unusual radio show you have ever had on Gold Seek Radio, and whenever I explain why, your listening audience will understand. Let me say that some of the things I'm going to give today are very startling. I have been given, put it this way, I have not done any radio shows for weeks. I accepted this show because I know that Chris will get the message out, and it must be heard by every American immediately within the next few weeks or else. A number of weeks ago, and of course I have contact with my elite friends on a regular basis, but a number of weeks ago, I was told something for the sake of my own family. And at the time, I was sworn to secrecy, and I could not say one word. If anyone goes to lindseywilliams.net, you will find out that I posted there back about 2 weeks ago the fact that I would tell something if and when I could. This is the first radio show I've ever given this on, and it may very well be because of the threat to last. We'll see. And the thing I was told, he said, you go ahead and maybe we'll let you say something later. Well, 2 days ago I was on the phone again, and he said you can say certain things. And those are the things I'm going to give you today. Let me go back because I know we always have new friends out there in Gold Seek Radio. So just in case you've not heard Gold Seek Radio before, when I've had the privilege of being with Chris, many years ago, by the providence of God, I had the privilege of being invited to be the chaplain to the elite of the world. This was actually 38 years ago. I lived with the people that you only hear about and never get to meet, never rub shoulders with. I lived with them for 3 years. For 38 years, I've kept in touch with some of these people. And from time to time, they tell me things that are going to happen. And then sometimes they tell me things for the sake of the protection of my own family, the precautions that I should take. And sometimes they say, don't you dare give this out under any circumstances. And I've had to refrain from doing it for the sake of my own welfare and my family's welfare. Well, those people today are in their 70s and 80s. I still am in touch with some of them. They are the older elite. The younger elite have more or less taken over now. But once a person is a part of this elite clientele, you never get away from it because they know too much. And as a result, they know everything that goes on behind closed doors. Back in August, I'll begin that far back because I need to bring this up to where we are to give what I was given just a matter of days ago, that I posted some off on my website, lindseywilliams.net. Back in August, I was actually told when the financial collapse will take place. Now, I know this sounds almost unbelievable. They know it. They know when it's going to happen. And in a conversation, I was actually told when it's going to take place. I'm going to give it to you in just a moment. I will not pull any punches today because of the lateness of the hour and the time and the fact that this may be the show that I give all this on. Therefore, I'll give everything. I want to give you what the financial collapse is not, because you have to understand the mindset of the elite in order to be able to comprehend what they're doing. First of all, a financial collapse in the mind of the elite, the definition is not when the stock market, Wall Street, drops 1,000 points to 2,000 points. That is not considered a collapse by the elite. Some of you might think it will be, but it's not. Again, a collapse in the mind of the elite is not when the dollar, the currency of America, is devalued. It is going to be, by the way. But that is not the financial collapse that the elite are talking about. A financial collapse in the mind of the elite is not when gold prices drop 500 to 1,000 points. So you heard me correctly. I don't know how much it's going to drop. I don't think it's going to drop anymore. I think it's already hit bottom according to what they're telling me. Now, I want to give you the definition that was given to me as to when the financial collapse, total financial collapse in the mind of the elite, this is it. The collapse will take place after the Affordable Health Care Bill is fully implemented. Now you say, wait a minute, Pastor, you're not telling me anything. Well, you have to let me go back to Mr. Fromm. I'm going to mention a name. He died a year and a half ago. He was the elite of the elite. Back about 5 years ago, I was on the phone with him, and the health care bill, the Affordable Health Care Bill, had never even been presented before Congress when he told me this. And he said, Chaplain Williams, this and this and this. We went on with the conversation. Finally, he mentioned the health care bill. And I said, now, we are going to have a health care bill in America. He said, yes, there is going to be a health care bill presented before Congress. And he said, Chaplain, it is not a health care bill. Now, folks, please keep in mind, this is nearly 5 years ago. He knew everything that was in that bill. He knew what you were going to suffer. He knew what was going to happen to the health of America, but he also knew that that was not a health care bill. And at the time, I had trouble believing what he was saying, but he had never told me anything wrong, so I accepted what he said. He said, this is, I understand it, and today you understand it. And so I went on to ask him some of what it really is, and basically it came down to this. They first of all had the Patriot Act, and that brought on major controls of the people of America. There was one more thing they had to have before they could bring a total, complete takeover of the New World Order. There was one more thing that had to happen. The Affordable Health Care Bill had to be put in place and passed. So as a result, Mrs. Pelosi stood up before Congress and said, let's pass it, and then we'll find out what's in it. Well, they passed it, and you are finding out what's in it, and you're finding out that it is not a health care bill whatsoever. It includes everything else but. And I was told it 5 years ago. I said it on many shows across America. I may have said it on your show before, Chris, that this man had told me this back nearly 5 years ago. But now we realize, and I realize now why, the definition that he gave to me. Now keep in mind when the Affordable Health Care Bill will have its full implementation. It will not be in January because big business has been deleted. They've been opted out until 2015. January the 1st of 2015, big business, as well as the private individual, are required to abide by all of the rules of the Affordable Health Care Bill. Therefore, I think I can say with confidence that we will not see what the elite call a total financial collapse. We will not see it for probably a year to a year and a half. Now, please bear with me on this because this does not mean that you can let your guard down. There are certain things that you positively must do before January the 1st of 2014, not 2015, when the complete Affordable Health Care Bill implementation takes place. But there are certain things that are going to happen between now and the beginning of 2014, and we're coming so close to it, only within about a month. And that's the reason I consented to go on Gold Seek Radio today with Chris, is because I have to admit to you, Chris, I sat here after I received your invitation, and I said, I can't do this. I was scared to do it. And I know what's happened in the past. And 2 other times I've been threatened by these people. And the more I thought about it, Chris, and you may have noticed I took a little while to answer your email, the more I thought about it, I said, I've got a moral obligation. I don't have any choice. I have to do this. And I hope today that this message gets out to everybody, far and wide, worldwide, all across the United States of America, because if it does, it will positively save the dinner table of many, many people. And it's for your finances and will spare your family major heartache. Now, keeping in mind that they have a time set. Now, what is it really then? What is a total call be classified by you as the most unusual radio show you have ever had on Gold Seek Radio? And whenever I explain why, your listening audience will understand. Let me say that to get the message out, and it must be heard by every American immediately within the next few weeks or else. A number of weeks ago, and of course I have contact with one of the things I'm going to give today are very startling. I've been given, let's say, put it this way, I have not done any radio shows for weeks. I accepted this show because I know that Chris will.
Today's special guest, Chaplain Lindsey Williams. It's always a pleasure to have Pastor Lindsey Williams on the show. He has, as I understand it, a very interesting update from some of his contacts. Hello, sir.
Chris, it is a privilege to be on Gold Seek Radio today. This is probably the most unusual radio show that I've ever done in my life. It may very well